today. What did the slide say? Fireside chat. With who? Who else does fireside chats in the backyard with a cup of coffee? Mr. Dean Tarrolly, of course. Let me explain to some of you guys that don't know who he is. He's an influencer. He's a COC. That's what I like to call him, COC. He's a wonderful father. He's an actor. At one time, he was acting down in the Hollywood area. And then he went to bartending. And now look at him. He's an awesome father. He's a giver. Now, what do you mean by giver, Mr. Thomas? Regardless whose organization, he loves to pour into people. And what I always call him is one of the trainers that ACN is what I call one of the co-founders go-to guy. What's a go-to guy? A guy they know they could put on the stage in front of tens of thousands of people and let his inspiration inspire so many. And without further ado, our dear friend, Regional Vice President Platinum, the one and only Fireside Chat, Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
What is up, Mr. T?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Good. You got to shave down a little bit. I love it.
Trying to keep it clean. You got to keep them guessing, right?
Yeah, and your hair looks neat and nice. I mean, are you starting to act again? I mean,
you know,
I stage a lot now.
You got to keep them guessing. You got to keep everybody a little off balance, right?
Yes, sir.
Not as clean shaven as what do you call him? The professor. He just pointed to his head. I'm not that clean. Look, man. By the way, it's the old joke, right? Man, that hairstyle looks great on you, right? Not on me yet, but it does look great on you, Mr. Culver. So good to see you guys. Ryan, good to see you. I had a nice conversation with him. In fact, Ryan, you guys know I have something prepared, but I always want to make sure that we're totally interactive. And Ryan, I'm going to have you say something in a second. So Al, I don't know if there's a way we can unmute Ryan. Ryan Swallow, that would be awesome. So Ryan, I know you have absolutely no idea that I was going to do this, but welcome to Thursdays with me, right? You guys are starting to get prepared for this now. You guys, before I get started, just really quickly, you know how I feel about Mr. Thomas. I've come to him on numerous occasions during our time together in ACN, and I've asked him for advice. I've asked him for guidance. I have been around for a minute, but everybody has people that know more than they do. And when you have the opportunity to work with someone who has the amount of experience, the minutes, the hours, the days, the months, and the years that Mr. Thomas has, I would just encourage you not to take that for granted and to use it judiciously. It doesn't mean you're telling him to go get your people qualified. You all know how to do that, but it does mean that when there's business building questions or maybe some challenges you're going through, just what an unbelievable resource. Look, he's a resource for regional vice presidents. He's definitely a resource for you. So Mr. Thomas, you know how I feel about you. You're a class act, and you know, I appreciate your mentorship and even more so your friendship. So thanks for everything. So you guys, Ryan, where you at? You just moved on the screen. Where did he go?
I'm right here.
Okay, cool. Ryan, do me a favor. Before I get started, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you said something to me when we just saw each other at the event that really meant a lot to me. And it was about a conversation that we had on this very call. And I don't remember specifically what it was, but something that I had trained on that you took seriously. And because of it, you pushed through these point levels to get to where you're at. And I just want you to take a second, if you would, and would you kind of recount and sort of share with everybody what it is that you shared with me? That would be awesome. And I think everybody would get a lot out of it. And then I'm going to dive into some information out of my little black book. So I'll turn it over to you.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much, Mr. Tarrolly. You know, the amount of times that you've poured into all of us is just incredible. And the one particular call that we were on a few months back, we were talking about going out and, you know, doing the work and making it happen. And the goal was 100 points. And I was probably about 40 or so points off of 100. And, you know, that whole conversation about just going out and just get it done. And it really, that's what got me up to the 100 points. And, you know, that's what I told you, you know, during our conversation, when you said, is there anything I can do to help you? I said, you've already done it. You know, you've already did what I needed done or what I needed to hear. And that's just, it got me going, got me over the rut that I was in. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Tarrolly.
Ryan, you got it. Look, I'm proud of you. I know that Al and the team is proud of you. And you guys, here's what's important about that, right? So I want you to think about this. Ryan is not on my team. Ryan, for the less educated person, is not in my money. And people go, well, there's no, so he's not in your money. Like there's no financial benefit from. There's a huge financial benefit, huge. And people sometimes they don't understand how this works. You don't have to help someone in your team to have that impact your team. You help anyone in any team, it will impact people in your team. And it's just really important to understand that. And that was such an incredible, by the way, it was an unbelievably generous conversation from Ryan. He didn't need to do that. I would do this training for Mr. Thomas. I mean, I'm just surprised y'all aren't sick of me yet, because we've been doing this now for over 2 years, every other month. But that impacted me significantly, because it lets us know, and it is a reminder and it is proof that when the right person comes along your path and gets started in this organization, that you have a chance to play a role in that person's success. And I don't take that lightly. I know Mr. Thomas does not take that lightly. Any of the regional directors on this call don't take that lightly. Jocelyn Driscoll, a great friend of mine, she's on this call. She doesn't take that lightly. So Ryan, just, you know what, man, that was really kind of you. And that conversation definitely had an impact on me. So I appreciate it. So good job, man. You did the work, by the way. You did the work. So there's no giving credit. You get the credit. You did the work. And by the way, that's something I'm going to talk about at the end here. So pretty important. Had a conversation with one of our newly promoted regional coordinators about that very topic. So here we go. I have some notes for you guys. So I just have to know if you're ready. Okay, cool. How about the rest of you? Okay, cool. Perfect. Right on. So you guys, there's never been, in my opinion, a more important time since I've been in ACN. There's never been a more important time to stay simple. We are getting so much stuff coming our way. Impact Health Share. We'll talk about that for a second. The perks program for reps. The rewards program for customers. Further international expansion, all this stuff. And headlined, in my opinion, by this launch into Impact Health Sharing, which is unbelievable. And you guys understand something. Things are about to get crazy. Things are about to get crazy in here. Look, when there is chaos and confusion and information, and people think this and people think that, and how does this work and how does that work? You guys, I'm letting you know right now. I'm letting you know, I've been through this before. That's about to happen. So if there is ever in your ACN career been a need, an absolute necessity for simplicity and clarity, it's right now. So let me just give you guys a thought about this. So we're getting ready to launch Impact Health Share and the perks program and the rewards program for customers and all that stuff. Here's what I know. We get customers, we build teams, and we promote the events. That's what we do. I've said this to you guys in one way, shape, or form over the course of 2 years, but it has never been more important than it is right now. We get customers, we build teams, and we promote the events. That's ACN. That's ACN. And with all the new stuff that's coming, man, it is going to be very easy, very easy to get distracted from those 3 core elements of ACN. So the question for you is this: are you going to be able to utilize the system of those three parts? Are you going to be able to enhance the opportunity by getting so good at those three parts? Listen up. Can you enhance the opportunity by getting so good at those three things? It doesn't matter what ACN puts in the pipeline next. I hope what I just said makes sense to you. It won't matter what they put in the pipeline because it's going to be great stuff. You guys, I've had sleepless nights over this Impact Health Share that's coming. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to give you a crazy example I just gave on a Zoom right before I jumped on this one. So listen up. If ACN is putting all this great stuff on the table, there has never been a more important time in all of our ACN careers collectively, from Mr. Thomas on down, for us to manage, maintain, and protect the simplicity of our business, because it is going to be very easy to complicate things when you have a whole bunch of stuff coming in. Now, by the way, for the record, let me make this clear. That complication is not from the company. Right? That's from the people in the field complicating things and making them more difficult than they really are. Yeah, Julian just went like this. They make it more complicated than it really is. So I want you guys to be prepared for when these services launch, when these programs launch. It does not change the three things that we do. We will be trained and taught by the company how to be able to get the customers onto Impact Health Share. Follow that system, right? So let's talk about this for a minute, for a quick minute. I want you to think about this for a second while I take a drink of my coffee. What do we really want from a new business partner? So I want you to think about this. Think about this for a second. Write in my notes from this morning, being prepared for today. Think about this. New person joins your team, right? A new person signs up on your team. Pat, Danny, Sharian, nice glasses. Al Randolph, good to see you, sir. Miriam, Natasha, Jesse. A new person joins your team. Victoria, Dave, right? A new person joins your team. What do you want from them? What's the goal? Because I'm going to give you something in a second, and I just want you to think about it. Coachability, that's a big one. Sam just said, right? You guys, I hope that this makes a difference for you. Wow, we got RVP Loveline. I think Loveline just jumped on. Hey, think about this. New person. Here's what we want from and for the new. These, by the way, you guys, look at your answers. Now, see, I know, pay them quick, their list, get them qualified, coachability, duplicate. You guys, these are great answers. And by the way, they're all right. I'm going to give you an answer that I thought about this morning. Here's what I want from a new person, and here's what I want to have for a new person. Ready? Write it down. A success story. I want a success story. I want a success story for that person right out of the gate. So now, what is a success story in ACN? That's the second question. So what do we want? We want a success story. Well, what is a success story in ACN? A result. We want a result fast. We want to help that person get a fast result. So that's the second part of it. What kind of a result do we want? Here goes. Customer qualified and exposures. That's it. We want someone customer qualified and exposures. Because see, here's the thing, you guys. So let's say, actually, I'll give you a great example. Phenomenal lady on this call who I'm very lucky. She's on my team. She's actually trained on this call. Roxanne Corlejo, she partnered up with one of her reps, Doug Soto. They started building in Latin America. And it's amazing. First of all, I see names that I had to like try a few times to pronounce properly on my report. That was fun. And I noticed that they're in countries that I don't live in. That part was fun. But within 2 to 3 days, I saw these magical 3 letters, QBL, right? Qualified brand leader. So for us up here, that's being customer qualified. Now, I want you guys to think about something. I have not spoken to those people. I do not know those people, but those people are in great hands. And so guess what happened? You guys, check this out. Roxanne and Douglas got them a fast success story. How did they do it? They got them a result. How did they get the result? They got them customer qualified and they got reps for reps for reps. That's it. By the way, nice to be with you guys today. Have a great day. Al, turn it back over to you. That's it. That's our whole business over and over and over. And here's the best part. When you do that over and over and over, here's what happens. You give yourself the best chance, the best odds of finding a leader. See, what happens is this. Sometimes what happens in ACN, we do that for a little bit and we're crossing our fingers that that person becomes the leader we've been hoping and praying would come into our business. Right? Hope is very, very important, but it's not a great business strategy. A better business strategy is getting the odds and the numbers in your favor. How do you do that? Who do you know? 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 Bam, Roxanne. Oh my God, just get out of her way. Just give her the tools, teach her, get out of her way. Or any of the other leaders. I'm just looking right at her and she's right there. And hey, Rox. But that's the point. Could be a Julian Lewis, could be any of the other great regional directors or regional vice presidents on this call. But if you just, if you're trying to get someone to be something that they're not, or if you try to get someone to do something that they don't want to do, that is a very difficult path. And we've all been through it, myself as well. I'll be the first one to admit it. I will be the first one to admit it. When you find yourself in a situation where you seem to want this more, you seem to be doing more, you seem to be calling more, and it's not equitable after a long period of time. I'm not saying that person won't do well in ACN, and I'm not saying that person won't ascend to top positions in the company. What I'm saying is it's letting you know that there's a message there. And the message is that it's very difficult if you want something more for someone than they want it for themselves, because you'll be willing to do more work for them than they're willing to do for themselves. And that is an inequitable relationship in terms of finding and developing leaders. Does that make sense, everybody? But here's what's crazy. We just have to go back to those 3 things. So it does not matter. Impact Health Share is going to, by the way, I think it is going to be life-changing. So let me give you, do you guys want like a quick idea of some numbers or no? Okay, here's just a snapshot. Here's just a snapshot. Here goes. If someone signs up for Impact Health Share, and let's say that personal responsibility amount is, let's say that amount equivalent to what would be a premium, right? But you can't say that because that's not that's insurance. That's not this. But let's just say that amount every month is approximately $350 a month. And Mr. Thomas, you can tell me if you've heard this example before. Let's say it's about $350 a month. And let's say approximately 40% of that amount is commissionable revenue to the IBO. That's about $150. Let's say you're at 20% because you have your 200 points. 20% of $150 is $30 per account to you. Now, sometimes you go, well, $30, that's great and everything, but well, hold on a minute. Let's say you make a decision over the course of 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, you're going to get 100 Impact Health Share customers, not 1,000. That'd be great. 100. Well, I'm not a math major. I'm okay. But 100 times 30 is $3,000 a month of personal residual income with no team. Give me a freaking break. We have a window of time to be prepared to go after this. We have a window of time to be prepared to be able to answer some questions, to get them on the website, to get them. You guys, our job is to get the ball, hand it off. But we got to keep it simple so you can take advantage of this massive launch that the company is putting in place for us. I don't know, but is anybody excited besides me, just out of curiosity? Like, I'm out of my head about this. You guys, listen, just listen. Okay. Black Book's done. I went through my notes. This is what you signed up in ACN for. This is what you signed up for. True residual, big billing, leverage, opportunity, still working from home, serving others. You win. You win if you treat it seriously. But my message, and you're going to hear this repeated over the course of this month because that's how important I think it is. It's your willingness and ability to follow the system and keep this thing simple. Let me share a screenshot with you guys that I think I've shared in the past, but I don't think it's ever been more important. So stand by, and here we go. So the late founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, has this quote. I do this in every single leadership I do, and every when I go to other cities and I do a leadership before the event, I always show this. There's a whole bunch of other ones I show, but this is one of my favorites. So check this out. Go ahead and screenshot it if you want. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. So understand, all of us have to fight through that challenge of keeping things simple. We have to fight through the challenge of wanting to complicate things, right? And by the way, there's an inherent trust factor in the leader, like you have in Mr. Thomas and the other leaders on this call, right? The other regional vice presidents on this call, Jocelyn and Loveline and the others. I don't want to miss anybody, but the point is this, is there has to be a willingness to keep this thing clean. There has to be a willingness to stay focused on the system and let these other things that we get to offer, let them be a function of how the system works. So over time, it won't matter what service gets dropped into your network. It won't matter what company we can now market their services. It won't make a difference, because your system is set up to duplicate, and your system is set up to get that service, get those goods out to the people simply and with value. And when you guys understand that business side of it, you start looking forward to keeping things simple. And what happens is you will become immune to complication. When things start getting complicated, you're going to have sirens going, oh, hold on. We don't need to be doing that. We don't need to be designing our own stuff. We don't need to do that. Let's go back to the system where you're going to have a lot of success, because the system now becomes the star, and all the things that get put into the system are the things that we get to take advantage of, because the company has a vision that's probably way bigger than any of us combined. And those are the services that we get to market moving forward to have an impact on yourself and your families and your lives, because the services that we get to market, the industries that we get to be participating in, are genius. So you gotta focus, and you have to have a coachable spirit and a willingness to keep things simple. And the last thing I want to share with you guys is this: is you gotta be, well, we're up against it. Mr. Thomas, are we done? I'm gonna try to be in your 30-minute time frame. I'm just waiting to hear from you, sir. Oh, okay. I'm getting hand signals. Okay, got it. So you guys, here's the thing I want you to think about. I had a great conversation with one of our regional coordinators the other day, and it was not unlike the first conversation that you heard today with Ryan. And she had reminded me of something that I had said to her, and I want to make you guys aware of this. Okay, I like showing these movie clips because to me it's fun. It's fun to be able to illustrate a point. So I want you guys. First of all, I'm going to ask you this: Do y'all remember Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, The Untouchables? You remember that? For most of you, do you guys remember that movie? Okay, it's a great movie. Really good. I loved it. It was great. Okay, so there's a scene in that movie, and here's what happens. Sean Connery is talking to Kevin Costner about, do you really want to get Capone? Anybody remember that scene? Do you really want to get Al Capone? Do you really want to get him? Well, I'm going to show you the scene, and we're going to relate it to ACN, and we're going to be done for the day. I got Sam over there already cracking up. So here goes. All right, you guys, real quick. So listen up, because it's about a minute and we'll be done. But I think it makes an important point. By the way, this is not about this is not about being an Al Capone. This is about the mentality.
You said you wanted to know how to get Capone. Do you really want to get him? You see what I'm saying? What are you prepared to do?
Everything within the law.
And then what are you prepared to do? If you open the ball on these people, Mr. Nash, you must be prepared to go all the way. Because they won't give up the fight until one of you is dead.
I want to get Capone. I don't know how to get him.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. And that's how you get Capone. Now, do you want to do that? Are you ready to do that? I'm making you a deal. Do you want this deal?
I have sworn to put this man away with any and all legal means at my disposal, and I will do so.
Well, the Lord hates a coward.
Boom. Okay, now let's talk. Let's talk for 1 second. Okay, so I couldn't wait to share that with you guys. Here's why. I do not want you to turn into a Chicago gangster. That is not the point of the clip. The point of the clip is this, and I hope you got it. What are you prepared to do? What are you prepared to do? How important is it to you to be that success story? Everybody talks about, I want to help my team. I want to help my team. I want to help my team. I want to serve my team. I want to serve my team. I want to help my team. Let me give you perspective, if I may. Mr. Thomas, hopefully this is okay. The very best thing you can do for your team is to be a success. The very best thing you can do for your team is to be an example. The very best thing you can do for your team is to get 100 points and more. The very best thing you can do is to learn the presentation so you're not relying on your leaders every single day. The very best thing you can do is make a decision that you're going to the top of the company in spite of all the things that are going on in your life, and just make a decision to do it, and then you follow through. And now the thing that you say you want to do, which is help all these people, you're doing it by example, and you are proof. That's why we're on this call. It's your turn. Grab the bat, get to the plate, and let's do this. Mr. Thomas, back over to you.